So let's talk about image creation, video production, especially for creators. I've been doing YouTube now for over 10 years. I had another YouTube channel, and I remember how long it used to take to do everything, and we didn't have anything available. I mean, even the cameras sucked back then. Audio was hard to get, but so there's a couple things going on here, right? So basically, a 3-minute marketing video, 13 days to produce, used to cost around $4,500 if we were to just estimate, I don't know, literally 2 years ago, right? That's what it looked like, okay, 18 months ago. Same video today, 27 minutes, around 400 bucks, and that number is still moving. AI just crashed the cost of video production, and if you're creating content for your business, this episode is going to change how you spend a Tuesday afternoon. So let's look at the numbers. Production costs for video content have dropped 80 to 95% in the last 18 months. That's crazy, you know? I would really like to see exactly who's actually, getting those savings because I think people are really slow and a lot of people don't realize what's out there. That's the problem with AI is so many things are popping up and so many tools, but most people don't even know they exist. So creators using AI tools are generating 5 to 10 times more content than before. I would argue a lot more than that if you know what you're doing. Agencies report producing 11 times more video without adding a single person to the team. The tools doing this are not expensive. Kling is a $6.99 a month. Luma, $7.90. Pika runs about $8. There's for shorts. There's Opus, and there's a whole bunch of them popping up. These are not enterprise software price tags. These are less than a lunch. What changed? 3 things happened at once. The models got good enough to produce usable footage. The interfaces got simple enough that you don't need a production background, and the pricing dropped below any meaningful barrier to entry. So, man, I wish I had these tools. See, the problem is when you get the tools, everybody gets the tools, and it becomes this zero-sum game of trying to get to stuff before and then only having a limited time before everybody else jumps on the bandwagon and then it's off to something else. I'm actually personally like over it because what I've found as somebody who's been doing YouTube for many, many years, I mean, we used to go out and shoot video for, let's say, 2 or 3 hours, and then we would edit for like 6 or 7 hours to just kind of do like a vlog and have a video up. It's not really worth it these days because there's so much competition out there and there's so much overproduction and there's just so much AI slop and this and that that it's kind of like you want to go in the opposite direction. And if you take a look at this video, what do I have? Images in the background and just me talking about a topic. It's just not worth it for me to start a new YouTube channel, which what this is, and to have 10 or different tools, learn how to use them all, and then put together all these, edits and this and that, and then bring them into my editing software and then re-edit them. It's just not worth the time and consumption for the visuals, which doesn't really change my talking, my voice, how I say things. So that's how I'm going to do things personally. I'm just not going to compete with this. But let's move on and let's take a look at what else is going on. All right, so some AI tools, right? Runway Gen 4 is the B-roll machine. This, honestly, I've never used this before. I'm going to go check it out. You describe a scene and it generates cinematic footage in seconds. Think of it as your visual Swiss Army knife, establishing shots, mood, footage, cutaways, not for complex scenes, but for the supplementary footage that makes a talking head video look like it had a production budget. So I haven't tried that one. HeyGen, I have tried this one. HeyGen gives you an AI avatar present. So this is good if like you have a company and you just don't want to be the influencer, you just need a professional voice and face to do your video. You type the script, it delivers it on camera in over 175 languages with voice cloning and lip sync. If you're creating multi-market content or just hate being on camera, this is the tool. I've tried that, but it can get expensive because it starts off cheap and then it's You start, and next thing you know, you start paying for this, for paying for that, and then if you want to have more and more and more, and like I said, it's like a zero sums game, a zero sum game of having to produce more and more and more stuff and put it out there, and it's getting so competitive, it's crazy. Another tool, Descript, turns editing into a word processor. You edit the transcript and the video edits itself. 80% time reduction on cuts and cleanup, according to users. If you spend 2 hours editing every video, this is where to start. Another one that I have not tried yet. Like I said, there's so many tools out there. Pictory is the repurposing engine. Paste in a URL and script, and it generates a draft video in roughly 2 minutes. 80% cost reduction for teams turning written content into video. Blogs, podcast summaries, newsletters, all of it can become footage. Who writes blogs anymore? You just talk into something and you say, based on what I just told you, write me a vlog in Gary V's voice. I mean, you can literally create profiles. You can create clones of characters of what you want. I mean, it just sit down and write a blog post. Yeah, I don't know anybody that does that anymore. So, edit the transcript and the video, it edits itself. Yeah, I know that sounds like a made up thing, but I didn't. This is a real thing that exists and works. And the future arrived while we were busy arguing about whether it would. Yeah, I mean, it's been obvious that's going here. I think that what we're going to see in the next 12 months is, let's say 12 months from now, let's say the middle of next year, I think we're going to see an AI assistant that you can talk to that will just edit for you. You just give it the tools, go out and film, drop in a bucket, edit, talk back and forth like you're talking to like an editor, like a $250,000 a year editor that can work 24/7. That's where we're headed, and I think we're going to see that in about 12 months. So mark my words and let's see if that happens. Okay, so here's the honest part, because the limitations are real and your audience will notice them. Temporal coherence. Temporal coherence. Oof. Temporal coherence is the first problem. Objects morph. Hands flicker. Faces shift slightly between frames. Viewers don't consciously identify it, but they sense it within 2 or 3 seconds. Anything requiring consistent characters or objects across longer scenes still looks like AI. Yes, that is true. There is something about AI that we can still just kind of know that it's AI, but it's getting better. I am getting fooled quite a bit. And the only way I'm getting fooled is because I know that what I'm seeing is unlikely. And then, of course, if it's shared on Twitter, you just say, hey, Grok, is this real or not? And then it basically AI fake checks it, which is kind of cool. It's pretty funny. Like every single video it's like somebody's asking Grok if it's real. Text rendering is still broken. If your generated footage needs readable text in frame, it will be garbled. This is true. Don't use AI generated video for anything where on-screen text needs to be accurate. Yeah, I mean, it'll still make little mistakes here and there if you use something like Opus. But like, who cares? It's like everybody's kind of used to it, The coherent length ceiling is roughly 30 to 60 seconds for complex scenes. After that, quality degrades. AI video is not yet a tool for long-form narrative or hero content. It's a tool for short, supplementary, repurposed footage. Yeah, so pretty much everything AI is like that. So, like if you create a ChatGPT chat and you start, you say this is going to be my dedicated thumbnail, and then you basically say you post in the script for each new video, and then maybe upload a picture of yourself, and you say I need a thumbnail. It'll do a great job, and then the second one you put in a new script, does a great job. You start noticing little things like it borrows things from the first video, and then by the time you get to 4 or 5 images, it starts just kind of putting random things in there, and it stops listening to what you're saying. And if you're doing video generation, it's the same thing. You can get whatever it is, 5 to 8 seconds, but if you try to extend it and like put together something longer, you just end up reprompting and constantly fixing. It's kind of a hassle. Like I said, it's working. It's impressive, but I think we're going to see like I said, the middle of next year, 12 months, that we're going to see a whole new thing, which basically editors are going to be you're going to have an AI editor who thinks and makes less mistakes. If AI basically doubles in intelligence every 6 months, you just have to wonder, double one more time, and then that double again, fix the memory problems and the common sense, and it's there, it's going there. So don't think about what AI can do now. Just expect AI is going to be much better than you can expect in a year. Just a year, that's it. Um, so let's see, where were we? Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So hands still look wrong sometimes. A lot of times it's the hands you can see that go bad. I've seen a lot of videos where it's just little things in the hand is the giveaway, and this has been true for like 2 to 3 years. Not like the Will Smith pasta eating video, but it's just getting less and less. But the models have gotten vastly better at everything except for hands for some reason. Yeah, hands are the final boss of AI video generation. So I look forward to updating when we get there, which I predict once again, give it 12 months. All right, so here's some 3 moves to look at that you could start implementing and maybe try out this week. First, repurpose before you create. Yeah, this is a big one, and I'll get into some stories. If you have existing written content, blog posts, newsletters, email sequences, run it through Pictory first. You already did the thinking. Let AI do the production. This is the easiest win, and it can be done like pretty much today, right? You just repurpose old stuff. Second, cut your editing time before you cut your filming time. Download Descript, record your next video normally, then edit it by reading a transcript instead of scrubbing a timeline. Most people get their editing time down by half on the first try. Like I said, I haven't tried every single tool, so there's a couple here that I still need to try. Third, batch your B-roll. Set aside 2 hours, open Runway, and generate 20 clips that match your content themes. Drop them into a folder. You now have a personal B-roll library that cost you $7 in an afternoon. Use it for the next 3 months. All right, so a couple things. So the first thing is, what I've been seeing a lot is some of my favorite YouTubers, they use B-roll footage, but it's their voice and they're just storytelling. They're getting demonetized because they're using AI B-roll footage. So that's the problem if you are primarily trying to monetize through AdSense, ad clicks, or any type of monetization that you have on YouTube. They are sweeping through and demonetizing tons and tons, thousands and thousands of channels. I have a feeling, because I've seen this in a different company where they did something like this, I think really what they're doing is they're running the numbers and they're figuring out how they can save money and increase their profit by just basically sweeping any channel and every channel out there that falls within a certain category that they can just literally demonetize. They still put the ads up. YouTube's still making that money. You just aren't. And they make it very vague, very vague. And anyways, my point is that if you're going to build a YouTube channel, I just think that if you're going to be using any AI tools whatsoever, you need to be thinking, how can I make this something that doesn't rely on AdSense, doesn't rely on super chats, doesn't rely on the exclusive membership YouTube monetization that you can get? Because I'm not sure if demonetize removes all of that or if it depends. I don't know. I'm not monetized here, and I actually, I'm using AI because I'm trying to come up with ideas on how to build businesses to monetize outside. I think that's the only way. And so that's the thing that I'm doing on the side. And there's a few channels that I have, and my idea is to come up with a way. So, because imagine if you can use all the AI tools you want, you can make as much AI, and you can just build as many people as you can, and then you can, have the numbers and then push them to your other models. Then you don't care if you're demonetized as long as you're getting the views. Another thing to give you an idea of this whole repurposing thing, where you can go back. I don't know if you guys know this. I saw a whole documentary on OnlyFans models, and what they're doing now is a lot of OnlyFans girls will have like an agency, somebody who manages their account. And what they do is they tell them, go spend a day, go find a house, rent a house, do this, film a bunch of content, take a bunch of pictures, and then give it to us. And then what they do is they repurpose that. They use AI to make customized stuff. And then they basically sell it to all these OnlyFans subscribers. And they produce customized stuff that that user thinks that this OnlyFans models is actually creating custom pictures and content just for them. It's all BS. So if you're an OnlyFans subscriber, get the hell off that garbage. It's worthless. It's pointless. And you're probably just talking to some dude who's using AI and repurposing the videos and the images to make you think you're special. So, closing out. Video used to be expensive because production... Well, blink. There's the 3 moves. I keep forgetting to put on the next image. Anyways. Yeah, so video used to be expensive because production skill was scarce and equipment was expensive. AI has ended the scarcity of production skill. The equipment is now $7 a month. The audience still rewards quality, though. But quality is now about story and delivery, not about whether you could afford an entire crew. So true, and I keep telling people this. I used to have a team of people, and that just wouldn't be feasible anymore. I would say, if you can't do it as a solopreneur, then, you probably can't do it at all. You got to start small and you got to build your way up. But, that's what I'm going to do with my channels from here on out. I'm just going to storytell. I'm going to talk, and I'll use very little minimal effort on the video side because it's just too much work. It makes it not worth it. And it's like you got to make a choice between create content in a way that you're going to keep doing it, or really go all out and then give up after 2 weeks. All right, guys. So until the next video, remember, let's get it. We got a lot of topics that we're going to talk about that affect the average day person, trying to make it in this world. So that's what I'm doing. I'm 53 years old, and that's all I'm trying to do is figure out how to stay on top of this new AI crazy world. So subscribe, and until the next video, let's get it.